a Christian model, then the churches have to get back and find their first mission.
Yeah, you probably don't do that through legislation and do that.
But they're creating a divide right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the most unchristian behavior I have observed comes from many of you inside this Republican camp. Some of the most heinous, vile things that I have heard said come from those who claim Christ. Mm-hmm. They just do. They're some of the nastiest, dirtiest, meanest people, in fact, on the campaign trail last year. Those of you who are just tuning in have not ever heard of Dan Wilson. I ran for sheriff against incumbent Republican Sheriff Robert Bob Norris last year. As a Republican, switched to an independent. We're going to talk more about that tonight. But some of the worst people were the power player pastors. Two pastors. Two of them lied. You can check that out on our podcast, episodes 1 through 9 of the Power Player Pastor series. They are audio only. And then those that are inside their circle. Mm-hmm. So the people that were the absolute ruthless that spread the worst lies and rumors came from people from these big churches. And they're big churches that have the big Israeli flags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was bad. But the other side to that is these same local leaders also did everything they could to basically stonewall so that you could not meet with them, so that they could just claim that they heard things about you but didn't really know firsthand what your policies were. So everything from Brent Regan and setting the tone for leadership from KCRCC, who's supposed to be rating and vetting, to those local, I don't know what you call them, elite pastors in a couple of the largest, most renowned churches in Kootenai County. And none of these people made strides to so much as sit down with you. You made an attempt, and then it went downhill from there.
Sarah's got a question. What happened to separation of church and state? Well, once again, there is no such language in the United States Constitution. That was merely Thomas Jefferson that was writing to reassure that there was not going to be any state-endorsed church. He talked about a wall, a separation of church and state that has erroneously for many decades have been attributed to the First Amendment. And that's simply not true. Congress shall make no laws establishing religion nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So once again, it's great to, if you are government and you want to exercise your faith, go for it. You just can't force people, like Jordan Redmond, Representative Jordan Redmond, introducing a bill. I don't think it ever made it out of committee, that was going to require the Bible to be read every single day. And, look, I think that's a great idea, but the problem is that when you have the ability to force any faith on the rest through compulsory attendance and reading, then what you're looking at is, well, what version of the Bible? King James only, ESV, NIV, the Living Bible, the Mormon Bible, the Catholic Bible. Where does it stop? Where does it start? Where does it stop? So anyway, that's kind of enough on that little rant, but I think it's good to keep coming back to the fact that the reason that we are where we are right now is not a failure of government so much as it is a failure of the church to turn out